Hi, this is Clint from Versa. This is a short video about can a Versa Secure SD-WAN Deployment support multiple tenants. So just in terms of language in this video, so Director is the Versa management and orchestration platform. Analytics is our big data repository. A Versa controller is the route reflector and the controller for the underlay and overlay. And a head end is a Director plus analytics plus controller, typically deployed all HA. So this is just a quick overview of Versa Secure SD-WAN. So most sites get a Versa node, physical. Up in AWS and Azure, we have virtual nodes. Versa Director is central management, and Versa is executing SD-WAN and routing functions. Versa is enforcing the enterprise security policy. All the Versa nodes can also serve as remote access servers for mobile users, and this scales to thousands of branches, open APIs and everything, and completely multi-tenant. So in terms of multi-tenancy, from the beginning, we built our solution to be completely multi-tenant. And one of our primary use cases is for service providers using Versa as a multi-tenant secure SD-WAN platform. So every element of the solution is multi-tenant. So Director, analytics, controllers, hubs, even the branch appliances can be multi-tenant, and also network policy, security policy. So we can have a master tenant, multiple subtenants. Each tenant gets their own SD-WAN keys. They can have their own SD-WAN topology. And we scale up to 512 tenants per head end, up to 5 levels of tenant hierarchy, and up to 1,024 VRFs per tenant. So we look at a couple sample use cases. So the first one is a service provider. So in this example, we have a service provider tenant, customer A and customer B. There could be up to 512 customers. And then each tenant, once again, has their own SD-WAN topology, their own keys, their own network policy, their own security policy, their own application prioritization policy, etc. So every element of the head end is multi-tenant. The hubs could all be multi-tenant, or you could have a different hub hardware or hub VM per tenant, your choice. And then each customer is obviously, all their boxes are part of their tenancy. So this is a very typical use case for Versa. So this is a retail bank, and what they wanted to do is have one tenancy for the enterprise network. They needed, for security purposes, to have a separate tenant for the ATM machines, and they wanted to have a completely separate tenant for the guest network. So every element here is multi-tenant. So the Versa head end is multi-tenant, the hubs are multi-tenant, controllers are multi-tenant, and then each branch participates in all 3 tenancies. And this is an interesting one. So this was a state that was basically transitioning from a multi-tenant MPLS network to a multi-tenant SD-WAN network. So we have the DMV, for example, has their own tenancy, health services as their tenancy, and then they run a statewide voice network, and this is present in all departments. So the DMV has their own topology, their own keys, network policy, security policy, and obviously the head end components and the hubs participate in all tenants. But then at the DMV, they have a tenancy for the DMV and then also for the state voice network. We go out to health services, there's a tenancy for health services, and there's also a tenant for the state voice network. And then there's some sites where they'll actually have multiple. There's some buildings where in that building there'll be a DMV tenant and a health services tenant, and obviously the state voice tenant. So really an exceptional use case for multi-tenant secure SD-WAN, where you want to have complete segmentation between, for example, DMV and health services and the state voice network. So in this deployment, the actual number of tenants was 65. Actual number of sites was over 500. and all Versa nodes could obviously be HA. So that was it. Hope you found this useful. Thanks a bunch. Have a great day.